Happy Saturday, everybody. We're back for another shop talk. Today we're doing DVDs. Not something I'm super stoked about, but we found an entire huge tote of DVDs at a garage sale this weekend, and it was like 350 DVDs, and they wanted 10 cents a piece. So it was hard to walk away from. I'm hoping to find 3 or 4 in here that just completely pay for the whole lot plus some. We'll see. Could have been a big mistake. DVDs are kind of a long haul thing. We're hoping to turn the $35 we spent into about $350, $400. Yet to be determined. We'll see. But we have them now, mistake or not. So that's what we're doing today. And we're going to read through some comments. We're going to see what's going on from our last 2 videos here and answer some questions. Today's video sponsored by that guy right there. That's our little box stretcher that we print. It's on our website. I know a lot of people that have looked into that thought, why would I need that? I have one of these. This is for cutting boxes shorter. This is different. This is actually for making a square box rectangle or a rectangle box into a square. This reshapes them. So if you're interested in that, you can find it on the Grams and Pops Vintage website. There is a video on the description to kind of see how that works if you're interested at all. In the meantime, I'm going to take a whole bunch of pictures here and we're going to read our first comment. If I don't close it first. First comment's from Loot & Co. Those are some friends over on TikTok. They did comment on our YouTube video, grinding pays the bills, strategy grows the business, 100%. Yeah, that was something we mentioned in our last Wednesday video, where Teresa and I were both talking about the different strategies we bring to the business. And yeah, that's absolutely right. Teresa pays the bills, I grow the business. That's how it works, right? Let's see, Lisa DeRee says, thank you guys. There was a crap ton of good information in this video. She's using our scientific measurement of crap ton, and she used it properly in the sentence. So good job. Thank you for watching, Lisa. Let's see. A Coughlin 30 says, where do you find the dollar auction place? We talked about the dollar auction in our last video. That's just thedollarauction.com. It's real easy to find. There are some auctions ending over there. We have some pretty cool auctions running right now that end Saturday. So today at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're interested in that, if you're sourcing or looking for stuff, that's a good place to find some stuff for really cheap over there. Let's see here. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to process these DVDs. Do I look them all up? Do we just set a tiered pricing on them? I mean, I am looking for some outliers, so I almost have to scan all of them just to make sure we're not giving away any great ones. I think that's an outlier right there. So I think we got a true woman, $10. So we'll keep that one aside here.
It's all about the women.
It's all about the women, Teresa says. I don't know if there's any truth in that. But if she says it, it can't be all wrong. Let's see. Make sure it's in there. That's a Blockbuster case. It's got Blockbuster right on it in there. Let's see, who do we have next? AZ Cat Sue. Corey's words of the day. Mission accomplished. Spewage did occur. Sue. Sue tries very hard not to spit out her coffee on our episodes. Apparently, we accomplished the task. We did make her spit her coffee out, so that's good. Thanks for watching, Sue. Let's see. Lingowan 5078 says, what would be the best source to get enough items worth selling, especially through the winter? My goal is to make at least $5K net a month. That's a lofty goal. I mean, it's not a lofty goal. It is a lofty goal depending on where you're at with your current reselling, I guess. I gotta retake that picture. I had the other CD still in the image. So 5K, that's totally doable. I mean, we're doing that plus, so that's not an unachievable goal no matter where you're at. I would say it depends on a few things. What it is you're wanting to source. Are you an everything seller? Have you kind of settled into a couple different item types of things that you like to sell? I think a lot of it kind of depends on that. So for us, we source everywhere during the winter. We're still looking for estate sales. We do watch online auctions often. We source on eBay quite a bit. We source on Facebook Marketplace quite a bit. So during the wintertime, our sourcing certainly slows down. But I think we do a lot more sourcing online during the wintertime. Would you agree with that, Teresa?
100%.
100%. She agrees. So online, I mean, if you decide on a few things you want to look for and go look for them online. And there's deals to be found online all the time. So we've never had trouble sourcing online. I think we can get just as much stuff online, if not more, than we can get on garage sales and stuff. It just doesn't have the treasure hunt aspect to it. So I guess that would be my answer to that. Source online. Once you get better at sourcing online and figuring out what it is you're looking for, it's much easier to source if you know what you're looking for. If I was selling DVDs and I'm searching for DVDs, it's much easier for me to find them than if I'm just looking for deals. So it's much harder to source that way. Soda City Flip says, I'm so impressed with you guys. Thank you, Shane. I'm proud of you for not making it a urine comment this week. Shopping with Cheryl. So glad I have 2 dogs, 40 chickens to bounce ideas off of, yet here I am doing the thinking and the doing myself.
I don't remember reading that one.
Cheryl, I'm curious. Like I talk to my dogs too. The chickens aren't much help. But it is good that you have someone to talk to, and the dogs are comforting. So hopefully they have some good ideas. You might be surprised where a good idea could come from. Let's see. I'm losing track of stuff.
No.
I am. I'm getting confused already. We just started here. I got to scan that and see if it's an outlier or not. It is not. That's a very common DVD. And I've already photographed it. So yeah, I was way distracted here. Well, let's see. Connie Lou 2923 says, where on your webpage for the items you make, i.e. the card holder? Connie, you could find them on gramsandpopsvintage.com. Up in the top menu, there's a shop with Grams and Pops button. You could find it up there. All the products that we sell that are on our website, you can find right in that top menu. So gramsandpopsvintage.com. Maria Gage YT9EX says, I like having the Saturday videos playing while I'm trying to juggle between a single mom of a 2-year-old boy and part-time reseller. It feels like I'm able to do more photography on that day. My unexpected reseller thing to happen this week was some McDonald's Pokemon cards from earlier this year sold on Depop. On Depop, what usually sells for me is vintage or Y2K clothing items. That's good. Thank you for watching and thank you for commenting. I'm curious to hear more about Depop. That's one place we've never sold. We've never signed up for an account. We've never done anything on Depop. And I don't know. I don't know why. I think I've always just kind of assumed Depop was a bit of a kind of a very niche hipster type site. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's kind of the impression I've always had of it, in terms of it wasn't a real mainstream place for us to go look.
I do hear a lot about Depop, about people accepting offers and never paying.
Have you?
Yes.
I guess.
I remember correct, that's the one that I've heard people say they accept offers all the time, kind of like on Mercari or Poshmark or whatever, and they never pay.
Yeah, so maybe you guys can share some information with us about Depop. Like I said, we've never tried it. We have no experience on Depop. I'm glad you made a sale there, though. Let's see who else we got here. Disgruntled Octopus says that beard is as magnificent as ever. Well, Octo, at some point I decided that if I'm going to be part of the reseller community,
You have to grow a beard.
then either I or Teresa was going to have to grow a beard.
Yeah, it ain't me.
Teresa opted out, so here we are. And I appreciate the comment. Pam Volker 3646 says, I like the Saturday videos. Thank you, Pam. Thank you for commenting. Scholastic Studio says, love, love, love the PickPointer tool. Thank you. We love it too. We use it all the time. If we didn't, I mean, we don't create products just to sell. Just, I mean, if anybody's wondering, all the products that we have on our website that are the reseller tool type stuff, like the PickPointer, like the box resizer, those were made purely out of necessity for us, and we use them, and they've been through several versions to get where they're at, and that's why they are for sale, because we found them useful for ourselves. So I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it's helpful. PinkTree Treasure. Recovering on the couch from a torn muscle surgery. Yuck. Not a good thing. That's how my reselling week is going. I'm sorry to hear that. Bought a bunch of great vintage items from an online auction Thursday night. Glad to be bidding from the couch. Yep, see, that kind of goes right hand in hand with the question we answered before, that online sourcing. I really think this job or business, whatever you want to call it, is accessible to pretty much anyone, regardless of your abilities or disabilities. If you could source online, if you're buying from Amazon, you could just as well buy to do this. So that kind of proves it right there. I mean, PinkTree's just back from a surgery on the couch, and she's sourcing inventory. So Angela K. Moses, love the PickPointer, just ordered one. Thank you, Angela. Gregory Moyer says, thanks for the information. You're welcome, Gregory. Let's see, what video was that on? Oh, that was our top 5 eBay sourcing methods. That's a really old video. I would say we should redo that video, because I think our top 5, or what we consider our best 5, has probably changed since we did that. Not probably, it's definitely changed since we did that video, but it does still have some good information in it. Let's see. Arlene PMCM. Dryer sheets are not good for everyone. I can't breathe from the strong chemical smells and would have to return a purchase that smells. Yeah, that's kind of the point we were making. Teresa and I are not strong smell type people either. We don't burn candles, we don't wear perfumes, and we wear deodorant. We're not hippies, but we're not strong smell people. We can't have really strong smelling stuff. Dryer sheets bothered us too, just because they were so strong. So for us, that didn't work. We're talking about in our clothing totes, why we separate our clothes into separate bags, and why we don't just throw a dryer sheet in. That's exactly right. Arlene nailed it. Let's see here. We got X-Men. Looks like it's all there. Been doing that one for decades, mostly for my shoes. Another good thing to use is the more recently, say over the past 10 years, they've made the smelling packets. They used to sell them at the Dollar.
Stuff or whatever.
Used to sell them at the Dollar Tree. I put those in my bins as well to fight odors. I think dryer sheets smell as well. The smelling packets works depending on how strong the odor is. I know some people use baking soda or even odor eaters. Yeah, that's definitely an option. I think that's kind of a good option too. It'd be nice to have some kind of a, not a cover smell, but an actual deodorizer like the smelling packets, which is kind of the same thing as baking soda. It's right along those lines. That's an actual deodorizer instead of just trying to cover up one smell with a stronger smell. I like that method better. We've never tried those, but I'd be interested in trying them. T. Brownell says, thank you so much for answering my question. I'm going back to see your video on the beginnings. She's talking about the origin video we did quite a while back. That's a really old video, but it's still where we started. So glad you will be doing this regularly, enjoying it immensely. Thank you, T. Brownell, for commenting. We're actually enjoying these videos too. They're the funnest video that I get to do. Teresa's here in the background working too. She's popping in as much as she can. But I enjoy these ones because I don't really have to edit them, or at least the editing is very minimal. Like I might cut out a little bit of time when I have to pause or if I drop some stuff. But for the most part, these are kind of a non-edit type video for me. And our usual videos are about a 4-hour edit. So I really enjoy these because it's just sit down and do what you're doing. And I don't have to worry about 4 hours on the back end to try and edit these all. So we're really enjoying these too. I hope they stick around for a while. Profit First Reseller, that's Joe, says, you two are awesome. Thanks for posting these videos. So cozy and informative. Joe, once again, I have to say thank you to you because you kind of inspired these videos. The reason we're doing this style of video is 100% because we saw it on your channel, and I kind of fell in love with the format. I really like this format, so thank you for watching. Let's see, Benny Stratton says, 100% Corey's success is such a vague term. It does not mean the same thing to everyone, and your definition of success is also mine, enough to pay the bills and have time left over for those things you mentioned. Not to be filthy rich. I'm 100% a minimalist. Yeah, we talked about that last week a little bit. Somebody asked me, what do you need to do to be successful in this? And that's kind of what led that conversation down that path is, it really depends on where you're, like what you consider successful, I guess. And we had a whole conversation about it, so I won't rehash it. But yeah, everybody's is going to be completely different on that. Let's see. Benny also said, Corey, is that a building on your property or is that a rented warehouse? Always wondered that, but never asked. This is a building we own. This is on our property. We own two 40 by 60 buildings on the property, like Morton buildings. This one is cut in half. So the half we're in right now used to be a cabinet shop. So they raised the floor about 3 foot off the gravel, and they insulated it and closed it all in and wired it. And it used to be a cabinet shop. So we kind of took over the cabinet shop part of it for the eBay shop. The other half is just a regular Morton building with a gravel floor in it. And then we have a 40 by 60 on the other side of the property that's got a concrete floor in it. Not finished or anything. It's insulated, but it's not heated or anything like that. We use that for mostly storage. So yeah, these are on the property. Let's see. Blue Moon says, then find me someone to bounce ideas off of. I'll try. I'll try. I can't find anyone that appreciates the way I think, but I know they're out there. I have 1,700 ads going between eBay and Craigslist. I love everything I'm doing, and I'm retired, and it does not feel like work. Just wish I had someone to do it with. Most people that want to team up with me are lazy or are all talk, and I'm a doer. Very hard to find the right yin to my yang. You guys seem to have it. Take care. I don't know. I'm trying to reframe that in my head a little bit. When we were talking about finding someone to bounce ideas off of, we have it built in, and she happens to be my business partner because she's also my wife. But I've run businesses that she was not heavily involved in before and had plenty of people to bounce ideas off of that were not part of my business. I don't think that's a requirement. I don't think them doing part of the work or helping grow the business or being involved in it in any way, shape, or form is a requirement to finding someone who can benefit your business in a very large way just by having their input, by talking things out. I think that's the point I was trying to get across in the previous video, is having someone with different eyes, someone that's further away from the business than you are, to look at some of your problems. Because a lot of times when that happens, I have a friend, Michael, is a friend of mine that I've been in business with before. He's owned businesses, I've owned businesses, we've owned businesses together. Completely different personality than me. Couldn't be more of a different person than I am. And when I run into things in my business, sometimes I will run those ideas past Michael, those problems past Michael. And it's amazing that sometimes a problem that I'm stumped on, that I'm saying, this is kind of, it feels like the end of the world. My business is stuck. It might close down. Like whatever the case is, I'm just having a lot of trouble here and I can't seem to get past it. Whatever the issue is. And then I'll pick up the phone and talk to him, and it'll be like, what are you talking about? That's not even a problem. This is why. Like, you've got your mind stuck on that. And if you just back up and look, you don't have to go through that. You can go around it, type thing. So I don't think you have to find a yin to your yang. I think you just have to find someone that's different than you, that's willing to hear you out. Doesn't even have to be someone great at business. Sometimes our problems are more in our head than they are a reality. I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. That's kind of where I was trying to get in the last video. And I don't know if I conveyed that very well, but I tried again. Maybe I failed twice. What do you think, Teresa? Did it come out right?
I will admit I just was not listening.
She was not listening.
I'm focused on. We had a bucket that had all of the like lapel pins in it, and I bought a bunch more of my jewelry things, so I've been trying to put them in it, but I put them all in it. Now I'm going through and putting the SKUs in on my store.
See, sometimes Yang is over here just doing whatever she wants. Trisha Jane says, love you guys. I'm in North Dakota and I am still struggling with sourcing, especially in the winter. I've only been selling since March. I love your realness and you guys crack me up. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching. As far as sourcing goes, don't be afraid to get out of the box. I know, especially if you're like me and you kind of get dove into the YouTube community. You're kind of watching a lot of the different YouTubers and you seeing people go to thrift stores and garage sales, and it kind of feels like that's the world. Like that's the whole thing. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I don't think we've ever felt more sure of this business as a model than we did kind of the time we realized that garage sales, while they're great, they're super profitable, and I wish they had 100 of them every day because I'd be at them all. They really are they're the low-hanging fruit. They're the easy part of this business, and people get caught up in that, and when those garage sales aren't there, a lot of people fail. That's where a lot of people just check out of this. They're like, okay, there's no garage sales. I have no inventory. I guess I'm done. I'm going to have to work at a gas station through the wintertime to get through this, and that's just not even close to the case. At this point, we're getting less of our inventory from garage sales. That's probably the smallest place we get inventory now. We get really killer deals at garage sales sometimes. But I would say 80% of our inventory almost at this point is coming from online sourcing. It's not coming from thrift stores and garage sales. So as long as you're willing to do what other people aren't, I think you're going to do really well in this business. And that sometimes means peeling away from the normal. And the garage sale thrift store scene is kind of the normal in this business. So yeah, don't be afraid to wander off the path a little bit here and do things a little different, because that's where it actually starts getting fun. Eric Gunter says, I'm kind of the same way. My wife can't understand why I always like to be watching Good Eats on the Food Network, but it was because instead of just being the usual cooking show, he went into the science and stuff of things. Yeah, I've never watched that. I can't watch cooking shows, so I can't relate there, because if I watch cooking shows,
You want to eat.
I want to eat. They just make me hungry. Like they could show the science and the business behind it all day long and it would never register because I'm just seeing donuts. Like I just want to eat. So I've never really been into cooking shows, but I completely understand what you mean by you are getting that other value from it, because we talked about that a little bit. I do get that. Foghorn Leghorn. Nice. I like that name. Great name. Says Flip does not work with multiple eBay stores, does it? Just one at a time.
Just one at a time.
Yes, and yes, it does. It does work with multiple eBay stores, but you have to sign out of one and sign into another. I think this came from our discussion where we were talking about we signed into an eBay store, pulled in all the inventory, and then moved it to another store. That has to happen in stages where you actually sign in, pull your inventory, delist it from the one store, sign out of that store and attach a new store, and then relist your inventory. So it is a very much one at a time situation with Flip, but it allows you to sign out of one and sign back into another. So that's kind of the way we got around that. That's the way we made it work. Let's see. For those not cross-listing, InkFrog works with 5 eBay stores at the same time. You can add 5 more for an extra fee, but InkFrog only works with Amazon, not the other platforms. With InkFrog, each of our stores has a different eBay email, but all inventory is in the same place. Yeah, I've seen people using InkFrog before. I've looked into it. We've never actually used it. I actually looked into it because I believe they have a tie-in with Shopify as well, which is why I was looking at it. But it is also pretty pricey. I think InkFrog has a pretty heavy fee on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while. But yeah, I think all those apps have potential to be game-changing for your business. It just depends on which one is going to fit which one's going to fit your model best, or which one can you adjust your model to make the most profitable, to make work the best, is kind of the question you have to answer. Let's see, got this silly price tag on here. It says, question, when you have 250 or 1,000 plus cards, the scanning and listing and shipping all make perfect sense. But how do you find the one that's sold? Meaning, how do we inventory those? I think I went over that a little bit last time. When I'm scanning my cards, let me grab one. Let me just grab one so we can see it. So when we're scanning our cards, we have these trays. We print these, but you could use a shoebox to put cardboard dividers. It really doesn't matter how you do it. But basically, I scan my cards, and I could fit 50, 75 postcards in one of these slots, or I could fit like 20, 25 stereo views in one of these slots. So each one of these slots is numbered 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15. So when I put my custom SKU on my eBay listing, I put the slot that it's in. That way, when I go to search for the card, I only ever have to look for just that one. I have to look for the one card, but I'm only sorting through at the most 50 cards, which is pretty quick. Now, I will say that's not probably the most efficient way to do it. I think with the way we're listing with List Easier, which makes things very fast. And they do have the ability to auto-increment. So if I scanned 50 cards into slot 1, I have the ability to put 50-1 and then tell it to auto-increment so that it'll scan the cards in order. And as long as I put them in order, it'll tell me 50-1, 2, 3, so I know where in that 50 cards to look. So I think there's a lot of ways to do it. Currently, we do it that way. We just put them in a slot. We have to search through about 50 cards. And if they're stereo views, we have to search through about 20. They're usually pretty fast and easy to find, but that's how we do it. If you have a better way or a faster way, let me know. We're always changing our inventory. I mean, if we find something that works better, makes it faster, we're not afraid to move to that. Let's see, Soda City Flip says, okay, so I'm on the List Easier train now with Soda City cards, but now I feel bad because I'm clearly draining your social tank with my phone calls. My bad, homie. But thanks for the help.
My bad, homie.
He said, my bad, homie. But thanks for the help and the swift kick in the behind with, you almost got me, Shane, with getting me started. Anytime, Shane, anytime. I think you'll do well over there, especially because they're non-sports cards you're listing. You've got some interesting cards. Let's see, ERPC 3DX says, I just wanted to tell you that I happened across your channel after hearing your name for several months and not knowing who you were. I love your content and I hope you keep putting out videos. You two make a great team and I really like the tinkering or the thinking cerebral aspect of your content. I relate to Corey and how he thinks through things. I would love more content about the thought process surrounding your business. Keep up the great work. You just made Teresa cringe, but I appreciate that comment. I don't know that ours is real heavy thinking or cerebral in any way. I would like it to be more analytical, I think. Is that if I had to explain my thinking on a lot of our business side, it's more analytical than being creative or thinking too heavily. I like to look at what things are doing and what I want them to do or how I want them to do it, and figure out how to bridge the gap between those two points in time.
Teresa would be napping.
Teresa does not like that kind of talk. She does not like that kind of interaction between us. Sometimes we have to. Sometimes I have to corner her and just say, we're going to talk this out. And she hates that, but she is, even though she hates it, she is a good set of extra eyes, and she does come up with things that I wouldn't have because her brain works so differently than mine.
Are you saying I'm... Never mind.
I'm saying you're helpful, even when you don't want to be. But no, I appreciate the comment. I'm glad you finally found us. See, Dusty Discovery says, really enjoying the Saturday shop talk. Thanks, Dusty. Glad I found it. I like the bagging of all the clothes separate. Never thought of the cross-contamination. Yeah, we're weird that way, but it's worked for us, and hopefully it'll work for a few other people out there. And if not, that's okay too. Some of these DVDs are just filthy. Like they stored them in their driveway. That is where we bought them, after all, in their driveway. From the grave. Let's see. Winter Antiques. I believe that's Josh. Said, great episode. Thanks for the Saturday shop talk. Thank you. Thank you for commenting and for watching. Pam Thompson 3891 says, I'm not a reseller. Always thought it would, though always thought it'd be cool. The thing is, I enjoy watching both of our platforms on this channel. You're a wonderful team, and I love hearing Teresa shouting in the background. Well, that makes one of us. Teresa?
Yes?
Tell Pam hello.
Hello, Pam.
There you go, Pam. I hope you can hear her. She's a long ways over there.
I am. I'm all the way by the computer. I just don't want to mic up because then you hear everything Teresa does.
Let's see. Rad Relics John says, POTF, Power of the Force, are the best old Star Wars toys. Dang fly. By the time it came out, people were tired of Star Wars, so it didn't sell as well. So that means that most of the stuff is really rare and harder to find, and that equals money. I did not know that, John. That's news to me. So, and that's good news to me because we have a lot of the Power of the Force stuff. So, thank you for the information. And if anybody would know, I'm sure it'd be you. You've got a pretty cool collection of all kinds of stuff over there. So, I appreciate the info. John also said Corey is running a cat house. Well, in some sense, I guess we are running a bit of a cat house, but the feline version of the cat house. Let's see. Arlene PMCM says, here's why I really enjoy your channel. You two deep dive into your thought process out loud, and we get to learn pros and cons of every aspect of reselling. Cool. Also, I think you need to show us your t-shirts every video. We only get to see the top 1/5 of your shirts. That's my whole shirt. It's just blue today. Nothing great today. Teresa, what kind of t-shirt you got on today?
Hold on, I'm coming.
We're very boring people. We don't have a lot of cool shirts.
Okay, you gotta stand up though. Get out of the way.
We got the Care Bear shirt.
Grumpy. Oh. Careful, I'm grumpy.
Careful, I'm grumpy, it says. Well, Teresa has more cool shirts than I do. Let's see here. Ecom Squad YT says, on that tape, be careful. Not all tape or glues are equal. Many of them do not like heat or humidity and will start coming off the box. We've had 3 and ditched them all. Now we use 3-inch off of a tape dispenser by hand instead of a tape gun. It saves us time, not just because it's faster to apply, but because the 3-inch has more coverage area, which makes you need less tape. Yeah, I didn't know that about the glues. So I'm gonna have to be very careful. If we do end up going that route, I'll have to do some research because I wasn't aware of that. We do use 3-inch. Teresa uses a tape gun with 2-inch tape on it. I can't stand that. I can't do that. I'm an overpacker and an over taper to begin with. And if I had to do a 2-inch tape, I'd go through like 3 rolls on every box. So I have a tape gun with 3-inch tape, but on almost every box, I also use my big tape dispenser that has 4-inch tape. So I do like the bigger tape rolls. You're right. They save a ton of time. Man, that thing just feels like it's full of gravel. Got a really dirty case here. The tourist has been on a tour. Let's see. Try to at least make it not feel gross. Bargain Garden MT, Montana? No need to apologize for a cat segment, though I did notice the cat tax wasn't paid. Well, I will try and put a cat photo in here for you.
Oh,
We need to pay the cat tax if we're going to talk about the cats, I guess. So we'll see what we could do for you. John again says, Rad Relic said, we love our packing. We love our package pickup. We take care of our postal worker. John, you guys, you're very lucky to have a good one. That's the thing with this guy too. If he wasn't such an asshat, like if he was just a decent human being, I would absolutely be the kind of person to slide him some money under the table and get him a Christmas card with $20, $40 in it and have cookies sitting out. Like, we would 100% take care of this guy and make it well worth his time. He's just a grumpy, old, curmudgeon-y, like, there's a lot of adjectives for... All right, so the camera died. as I was getting into the adjectives about our postal worker. So I won't dig any deeper because the camera didn't seem to like that. But you get the point. Like we have put the effort in with this guy, and it hasn't borne any fruit for us. It's just been an exercise in frustration more than anything. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull that off unless we can find a way to work around him rather than work with him. But we're going to keep trying. I think it would be a huge advantage. Let's see. Alice Patton 6157 says, I was using a drop-off near my home. I had a $110 package that did not get scanned. I had to give a refund after a month and lost everything because it was not scanned. They said I had no proof it was mailed, so I drive 30 minutes away to ship. I will not use drop-off anymore. I get it. I get that. I understand that. And that's probably where Teresa would immediately fall as well. So I don't think you're alone in that. Nor do I think it's a bad way to see it per se. But for me, with the amount of packages we do, honestly, if we had $400 worth of packages go missing in 1 year, it'd be a price I was willing to pay to have pickup. Like it really would. It'd just be a cost of doing business. We have some go missing, and $400 in packages for us would be a lot of packages, because I wouldn't count that I sold it for $100. I would count that I had $10 in it. So it would be my cost, not the sale cost. That's opportunity cost that's gone, and I get that. But I don't, when something goes wrong and a package goes bad and we lose the money on it, I don't count the money like I sold it for $400, so I'm out $400. That's just not, it's not true, and it's not realistic. So I count what we had invested in it. To me, it was inventory that we had invested in it, so I lost the $10. But I would be willing to sacrifice quite a bit to have the pickup, because $400 in a year, and if we were saving an hour a day, 5 days a week, that's extremely cheap to pay for that time back, like extremely cheap. So I would very quickly give that up. Was that you back there, Teresa, saying whatever?
Yes.
Teresa's like, no, I wouldn't do that.
No, I found 2 pins and I thought they were the same.
Yeah?
But they're not.
Oh, you weren't talking about what I was saying.
No, I was not.
Oh, I thought she was having a difference of opinion with me over there. She wasn't. She was just talking about her own thing. But yeah, I would be okay with some stuff going missing. And it's because it's a cost of doing business. I would just be fine with that. Lawson Family says, always get the packages scanned. Tried once and it was immediately a headache. See, I think that falls kind of under the same conversation we were having. I'm willing to put up with some headache. Now, if it was a constant, I mean, there is a diminishing return there. So I get that. If it was always a headache and it was always costing me money and it was putting my eBay account in danger, then that's a different story. So I think we'd have to take it as it went. A second here. Need to get some more DVDs up here. Josh Graff says, I think you two are putting out the absolute best reseller talk videos right now. Josh, thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you, because you put out some really good videos over there, and we've been watching your channel for quite a bit. So I appreciate that. That means a lot. Jenny Bryant 3023 says, awesome sales. Jeannie? What did I say? Jenny, Janine, Jeannie Bryant. I'm never going to get that right, just so you know. Like, I'm name blind. Is that a thing? It should be a real thing. If it's not, I'm not great with names. Jose Garcia says, next time, say what I have to say when my grandkids are around. Sandwich, please. That's instead of swearing. Yeah, we're not great with that. That's the beauty of YouTube. We edit out more than we leave in sometimes. We're not great people, guys. Like, this is the TV version of us. In person, we're much more free with our language, and Teresa likes to say cursing is inherited. She says she inherited it from her family, and sometimes I believe that, because Grams has got a bit of a potty mouth sometimes. Let's see. The second shop wife says, I'm in the country too, and we don't have pickup, but our postwoman is horrible. I wouldn't trust her. Thankfully, my oldest daughter works at a Shoppers drugstore with a post office. She brings them in. It's like a CVS. Yeah, we even talked about that a little bit. Like, is it a possibility that we could hire someone to do our drop off and get the receipt? I'd be fine with that too. I mean, if that was the path of least resistance for us, to pay somebody a little bit of money to take them in every day for us rather than not having the pickup, I think I'd be willing to pay somebody to do that. We would just have to find that situation. And being out in the country, that's harder to do. If we lived in town, we could probably find a college kid willing to come, because we are kind of close to a college town. We could probably find a college kid willing to just come over and snag the packages and run them in every day and bring us back a receipt. Being out in the country, it makes things more difficult. So, and our kids are all an hour away, so they're not coming out to do it. I couldn't afford them. They're too expensive. Jean Teran, yeah, I'm horrible with names. Jeanette Teran. I always schedule my pickups online the night before with the exact package count. The carrier is supposed to get extra credit for picking them up. Little treats and thank you gifts were always appreciated, and she went out of her way to help me. Yep, that's part of the problem we have with our current carrier right now is we have the building in town that we own. We own a business in town, and our in-town carrier is an absolute freaking rock star. Like it wouldn't matter if we had 200 packages and she had to take 3 trips to get them in. She would do it, and she would smile, and she would talk to you the whole time, and it would, like, she's just a rock star. And then you come out here and the vast contrast of it, just like, yeah, I've used all my adjectives for that guy.
The
like,
people in town get complained about him all the time.
Yeah, it's not a good situation with our guy here, but I understand what you mean by when you have a good postal carrier, it makes all the difference in the world. Let's see, Todd SilverHair Stacker says, I may be the least efficient reseller in the world. So I basically have 0 tips or tricks to save time, but I have the luxury of having retirement income where I work only as much as I want to. That's a good thing, Todd. And that's a huge advantage. I wish we were there. Unfortunately, sometimes as good as we are at business, we're just as bad at financial intelligence sometimes. Not all the time. But sometimes we're not. We weren't very smart with money growing up and when we were in our younger years, because that's when we had the most opportunity to make better decisions that would have made our lives easier now. We did not do that. We are definitely in that group of people that's probably going to
work until we die.
Yep. We'll probably work right up until the point where they put us in the ground. But I'm okay with that as long as I can make my work tolerable to where I actually like my work. And it gives me the freedom to enjoy my life, at least to some extent, to where I have some mental happiness. I'm not going full into that. You know, I think life should be enjoying, and anything you don't like doing, you just don't do. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. I think hard work pays off, and there's nothing wrong with hard work. But I think you have to have a little bit of that mental health and mental freedom. And I think that's just by not hating your job. If you don't hate your job, it's not that big a deal. And we don't. We like our job. We're trying to make our job easier the older we get. That's it. I would love to be in a situation where I had that retirement income. I know several people that are like that. My brother has that. He's got retirement income. He can kind of do what he wants. He can work if he wants or not work if he wants. And that is a special kind of freedom that a lot of us are never going to have. And that's our own fault, so I can't complain about it. I just get to keep taking pictures of DVDs until I can't sit up in my chair and do it anymore. Picking with the pages says, say Cuckoo-clock 5 times fast. Oh my God, I love you too so much. Nice try. I'm not going to do the Cuckoo-clock thing because you're trying to get me in trouble. We did make a slip of the tongue in one of our episodes recently, trying to say the word Cuckoo-clock. And let's just say it didn't come out as Cuckoo-clock. I'll let you use your imaginations on how it came out. DNK's Treasure says, the thing I do to help with having more box sizes. I order most common high use boxes online, but doing it out of my home, I can only store so many. I go to Menards and Walmart to get like 5 or 10 of the different size boxes. I don't have to store 25 to 100 at a time. Menards has great sizes, by the way, 999s, 1285s, along with some larger sizes that are great as well. Yeah, we found that too. And actually, it kind of surprised us a little bit when we first started doing this. Walmart has quite a few. They have a pretty good variety of box sizes, and they are surprisingly affordable. This fly is going to drive me nuts today. They are surprisingly affordable. So we do buy boxes from Walmart. And Walmart even does free delivery when we order enough boxes to the house. We did a video on that. They sent us one box at a time in a huge box one time, which was it was kind of a one-off thing. It doesn't happen every time, but we do get boxes from Walmart when we can't store all those huge boxes. Their boxes are really affordable and they do have a good selection. So they're a great secondary resource to ordering online. Deanna Van Beek says, so enjoy your podcast. Also, if you sell something that will fit into an envelope, how do you do shipping on that when it will require a couple of postage stamps versus paying the $4.25 or more? We pay the $4.25 or more. Unless it's something that specifically fits into the eBay standard envelope category. If it's something that'll do that, like, it's a good topic because we actually just had that discussion. We considered taking every one of these DVDs and opening them up and selling them disc only. For the price on a DVD, what you're going to get out, 50 cents to $1, and that's if you ship it with the case. The prices are much the same, maybe a little bit lower if you sell disc only. We considered taking these all out of the cases and selling them as disc only so that we could sell them and ship them eBay standard envelope. Unfortunately, when we went to look it up, eBay standard envelope is not, DVDs don't qualify for eBay standard envelope. Neither do CDs. And I know there are people that ship CDs eBay standard envelope, but technically they don't qualify for the program, mostly because they're not flexible. And eBay standard envelope has to meet certain requirements, but it also has to be able to flex in the machines.
Otherwise, it's considered non-machinable and they'll send it back to you.
Right. It's considered non-machinable is what the post office calls it. And there's a chance they could send it back to you, and there's a chance it could just go to undeliverable mail warehouse and somebody will buy it on a liquidation pallet someday. So we ended up not being able to do that. But as far as your question goes, we don't avoid that. It drives me nuts sometimes when I know I could just stick 2 stamps or 1 stamp on something and send it and it'd be fine. But I got to pay the $5 instead. And there's just not a lot of way. There's really no good way around that because you need the tracking through eBay. You have to have that to show that you actually shipped on time and it arrived on time. So we just baked the $5 in. Like a lot of these will probably go up for $5 or $6.99 free shipping. So we built the $5 into it. We'll make $1 or $2 on each one of these, minus the fees. Except for the ones that are kind of standouts, which is where we kind of get our money back to begin with. But that's kind of the crappy part of it. And it's even crappier when you go on eBay and you look and you see these same CDs that they're selling at $2.99 free shipping, and you're like, how? But it's just the way the game is. Now, if we had 100,000 DVDs and I could sell them at $2.99 free shipping, but they had the multi-CD deals to where you're just hoping 20% of your customers buy 3 or more DVDs at a time, and that's where you make your money, and the rest of it is a loss leader. That'd be great, but we're not at that point yet. So for right now, we build it in. That was a really long way of saying it kind of sucks, but there's no way around it. I'm gonna grab some more DVDs. All right, Chick Picker says, maybe find a hobby. I picked up bowling. It gets me away from the shop and I get a bit of a workout and I'm meeting new people and networking. I guess the one part of that kind of ruined that for me is the whole meeting new people and networking thing. I'm not...
Seriously. I will tell you this as far as bowling. We would not be able to do any work if we went bowling. Because we are old.
It would hurt?
Not in great shape. Well, we will be in January.
Will we?
Yes, we will. Anyways, and so it's super hard on us. We used to go bowling with our kids all the time, and it's like you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my gosh, muscles hurt that I didn't even know could hurt.
We are severely out of shape, but a hobby could help that too. But no, what Chick Picker's talking about is we talked about the fact that we're always doing this, and it's hard to get away from, and it's even when you try to take the day off, you don't really take it off because you're bored. And I think she's right. A hobby would definitely change that. We actually brought that up, or I brought that up to Teresa at one point. We're just not good hobby people, mostly because of me, I think. And reason being is I don't do things part way. I'm not good at doing things part way. Like I can't just have a hobby that's just kind of a on the side for enjoyment type of thing. Take bowling, for example. If I was going to do that and I wanted to make it enjoyable for me, I would have to go all the way. Like I'm going to be buying balls and shoes, and I'm going to be looking at different lanes, and I'm like, I don't do things part way because I'm just not wired that way. I tend to buy all the stuff and then figure out I don't need none of the stuff and then switch hobbies.
Can I interrupt? It's not really related to what you're doing, but it's good to have friends. Do you know why?
Why?
Because we got a message from somebody that in the town that they're in, there is a lot of ephemera, newspaper cuttings, Valentine's stationery, old paper notes, postcards, scrap, random ephemera, whatever, for $20. And she wanted to know if you would be interested. She'd get it and she'd ship it to us.
All the postcards?
No, it's the whole thing. So we might have to look at it and get back to her. Because I don't know how many postcards. I see some. But we can chat about it when you're done.
What the heck? Why not? Might be worth digging through. You never know. All right. Where were we? Benny Stratton. You love it so much you live to work and work to live. There's nothing wrong with that. No, there's not anything wrong with that. I think eventually you come to a point in your life where you want to slow that down. I think just naturally you'll have to slow that down. But while you can work and you are enjoying it, I don't see an issue with that. As long as you're not like neglecting your family or anything like that to where it's just unhealthy, I don't see anything wrong with it. 83 Bama Gal says, one thing that I'm going to start doing immediately is pre-boxing items that I know will sell fairly quickly. Not the small items, but the very large items, such as my vintage fold-up church chairs. I'm hesitant to list them because I know they will sell fast and I'll have to package them at what always seems to be the most inconvenient time. They're a pain. Yep, we have started doing some of that too. Teresa pre-packages some of the big stuff. We have a lot of really big stuff in here that's not pre-packaged, but it just depends on what it is. If it's something that somebody could potentially have a question on, anything with a button on it or anything that's even remotely complex, somebody's going to have a question on. So we don't package that kind of stuff, but pretty much everything else is a candidate in terms of the big stuff, not the, come on, fly, not the little stuff. This fly, I'm telling you, I've got to...
He was over here earlier.
I don't know why he's so persistent. Oh, let's see. So thank you for the comment, Bama Gal. Let's see. Heyo, this is my first time commenting on any YouTube video ever. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I lurk in the shadows and have for a decade or so. Anyway, Corey, you and I are kind of kindred spirits. I love what we do, and it works for me mostly because I have found that I do not handle being told what to do, how to do it, or when to do it. I'm introverted also at the extreme end of the spectrum. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I think I talked about this on Unemployed for a Living, the podcast we used to do with Ken, SSK Promo. The reason that I'm self-employed and have been for most of my life is that I'm unemployable. I'm a horrible employee. I'm an absolute horrible employee. I'm the best employee you can hire for about 3 months. But once I learn the job to where the learning has run out, and there's nothing else to learn, and I get bored, it's the end of my job. I'm actively on my way out at that point. Got him, guys. Got him. He's gone.
You fly killer.
I might have to clean that DVD. Don't buy that one. The Strangers. Don't buy that one until I clean it.
Did you use a movie to kill the fly?
Yeah, he got killed by the Strangers. Let's see. I love watching you guys. My boyfriend and I have similar banter though much less family and YouTube friendly. You'd be surprised. I did cover that a little bit. This is the YouTube version of us. We are much less family friendly in person, but I mean, that's what editing is for. I don't mind doing some editing to keep it more YouTube friendly. See, found some of our best scores. What's it say? He supports me fully and helps when he can. He would do anything I ask, but is limited as he is completely blind. Nonetheless, he's found some of our best scores. We just got him a pair of meta glasses, but I have no idea how to use them. I'm too stubborn to ask my child as I grew up alongside the internet in the dial-up years and refuse to admit I'm lagging in my technological knowledge. Well, first, good on you guys. That's awesome that you guys are getting it done. I'm curious on the meta glasses. Is he using them audibly? Like, do they have a speaker on to hear what you're seeing and stuff? If so, that's really cool that he's able to use that as a tool. But with the rest of that stuff, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't let stubbornness get in the way of you getting through the technological challenges. That's most of our job. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday or the day before, I forget, but just a few days ago, I was having this conversation with somebody that, we were talking about what our job is, what our job titles are, and like, do we consider ourselves a CEO or what is it? It wasn't that, but it was, basically the conclusion was as the owner of a business or as a self-employed person, your job isn't to be a reseller, for example. Your job is to solve problems. That's literally your job. Every day you wake up, every day you go to bed. We've talked about this in one of our videos before. As the owner of a company, your job and your title and everything you do is problem solver, head of problem solving department, period. You got a customer that's having troubles, you got to solve the problem. You need more inventory, you have to solve a problem. You need to get more money out of the inventory you have to solve a problem. Like literally, that's the job. So if you're willing to dig in and solve the problem, that will make you a good entrepreneur. Like that's literally the definition of what an entrepreneur is a problem solver. So don't ever let stubbornness stand in the way of that. Dig in, solve the problem in any way you can. And thank you for leaving your very first comment on our video. I really appreciate that. Bonnie, I'm just going to say Bonnie. I'm not going to try and pronounce the rest of that. I think you mean work smarter, not harder. We had this comment twice on our last video, and I think, I'm going to have to go back and watch it, but I think I must have said work harder, not smarter. And if I did, you're right. That was a slip because I should have thought clearer. Maybe my thoughts got ahead of me on that one. I think I must have said it because we had two different people comment that same comment. But thank you for catching me on it if that's what I said. Teresa caught an editing glitch in my last video too, where she was talking and the camera was pointing at my face for a chunk of the video. And it was a total whoops. So it happens. See, Josh Graff says that hard case on the book is a slipcover. Come on, you booksellers. Yeah, he's right. And we couldn't for the life of us come up with the name of that thing during the video. It's the hard cardboard cover that goes over the book. So we knew it wasn't a dust cover, but he's right. It's a slip cover. We just are not good enough booksellers. Let's see. Reseller Life. That's Roman. He left us a comment, but I'm not about to try and read a Roman comment on here. Like, that's just not happening. I appreciate you, Roman, and I really am glad that you commented on the video. But I'm not trying that. So I think that's it for today. I think that basically sums it up. Don't forget Dollar Auction auctions in tonight at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys are interested in these or seeing how they work, check out Grams and Pops Vintage. That's the box reshaper. And we will see you guys next Saturday.